All right, so here we are. I labeled this project Shed Frame Activity 6, Mr. Pat. You would, of course, put your name there, not Mr. Pat. That's not your name. Unless it is, that would be weird. Okay, in our last episode, our last video, we created this slab here, and we created this bottom plate down at the bottom that we are nailing our boards into. And then we created this first part here, the stud that goes vertically here and is taller than the guy. So if you were to build a shed with a roof and everything, you would be able to walk around inside it. You might be thinking already, like, dang, Mr. Pat, that was a lot of work just to get two stupid boards on top of this slab. And you would be right. But here's the thing. From now on, it gets a whole bunch easier. Although you do have to follow the directions. Now, if I were a real live person framing a real live shed, I would have a pile of these 2x4s that I would space 16 inches on center. And what we mean by that is right in the middle of this board, I want the next one right in the middle of the board, 16 inches away, so I know where my pieces of wood, my studs, are behind wallboard or plywood, etc. But I can do the same thing by measuring from the corner here. And wouldn't you know that SketchUp has a measuring tape. So if I click on the measuring tape tool, and it looks like a little measuring tape there, it's so cute, and I put it right on that little corner dot there, and I start dragging it along the top line of the stud, and I just type in 16. It knows I mean 16 inches. And I don't know if you can see it there, a little plus sign, a little pencil mark right there, which is actually what I would do if I were framing this in real life. I'd have a little pencil, and I'd have a measuring tape, and I would do that over and over again. And I'll start it and go 16, enter, and I might have to transpose or hand this over. So I've got a mark here, I've got a mark here, and I want to have marks every 16 inches all the way down this long board. So I'm going to go back to my measuring tape, get that little circle there, kind of gives me a little cheat code there to let me know I'm on the right spot. See that little circle there? Perfect. I click, I start drawing, I type 16, and boom, it puts the next plus sign right there. Start dragging it, go 16, enter. And as I keep going, again, I might have to pan over a little more to get the view right. I am going to run out of space eventually on this board. But from here, this way, we'll go 16, enter. And I think I can fit one more in using the measuring tape. And then the math might not work for this very last one, but I don't need to mark it. I know it's going to be even with the end of my bottom plate if I were to just have a stud right even with this guy the way I did over here. Oh, look at that. Part of my board is still white over here. I can go to my materials, and I can select my wood, and I can dump it in there. There, all better. All right, so now I have marked on my bottom plate all these little lines here where I want it to go, my next few studs. And you're thinking, oh man, now I got to draw a rectangle and I got to create another stud. No, we already got a perfect stud over here. What we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste it. So this is the tricky part again here, is usually getting your SketchUp project in the right place. And I'm using this pan tool, the little finger here, and I'm using my rotate tool quite a bit. All right. But what I want to do now is grab my pointer tool. 1, 2, 3, click on that. Control C is copy, Control V is paste, and look at that. It gives me a brand new stud, and I'm going to slide it over till I'm on that dot. And now you can see, actually, it looks like I'm off a little bit. Let me see there. Yep, I'm off by a little bit. There I am, and I want it on that side. Come on, you. It's a little tricky to get the first one on. Something like that. Come on, you stinker. Trying to get it lined up might be a little tricky, but you get the idea. Maybe this next one will be easier because I'm going to do the same thing. Zoom out a little bit. Control V. Again, it gives me another new stud. I'll zoom in so I can see where I'm putting this guy. There it is, on edge. That little sign there is kind of in my way. And you know what I would be doing, folks, if I were really framing this in real life? I'd try to get it close. I mean, again, you're not going to be 100% perfect. You want it as close as you can be, Control V, and keep doing this. There's my next mark. Control V, there's my next mark. Control V, there's my next mark. So you can see this becomes pretty repetitive, pretty easy to do. I might have to pan over a little ways. Excuse me, Control V. And I'm probably already boring you with all this copying and pasting, but guess what? We're almost there. One more. And I bet I go right to the end next. Yep, last one. Control V, and I will line that up with the back edge. And now, if I go and I look at this guy, it looks like they're all pretty good. Let's see. That first stud kind of gave me a hassle. You know what I might do is click on it and delete it, and then just do my Control V again and put it in one more time. Sometimes it's easier to start over, people. Oops, come on, you. Get over there. Ha! So now I'm feeling pretty good about this stud wall. All right, you look at it from this end. They're all nice in a neat line. It's easy to look at like that. Now, oh, come on, you junk. There, undo's your friend. Remember undo over here. That's your friend. All right, go back to my pointer tool, and now I've got a perfect stud wall there. What I want to do is triple click on the bottom plate and Control C and Control V. Oh, no, it's still giving me a stud. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this right. Move in here, click on my pointer tool. There it is. All right, so I've got that whole bottom plate selected, all right? So Control C, Control V, and I've got another bottom plate, and I may need to move around a little bit. Put it up there on the top. Here, I'll pan so you can see a little bit better. Holy cow, it looks like a wall to me. All right, so that's pretty cool. Come on, get back to my pointer tool. All right, so now I've got that wall, and you're thinking, man, Mr. Pat, that was really tough. I don't want to have to do that all again to do the other side of the shed. That was annoying. That was a pain. But look what we're going to do instead. I think I can draw a square around the whole thing. Control C and Control V, and look at that. Holy cow. So by doing it the first time right, that means when I copy and paste it the second time, it is perfect, which is pretty darn cool. Saves you a ton of time, and of course then you know how to put a plate over here. It would be shorter because it would be 8 feet minus the dimension of these plates here. But anyway, you get the idea. You could frame the rest of this shed now based on the skills that you have just learned. So if you've gotten this far, oops, undo's your friend, undo's your friend. There it is. All right, and click back. And when in doubt, I always go back to my pointer tool, which just kind of deselects everything. All right, so this is pretty cool. Show it to your teacher, get your grade, and move on to the next activity, because now you've done some pretty advanced SketchUp work.